Okay, so today we're looking at 7.3 and 7.4. They are very, very similar. Shh. So the first one we're looking at the volume. So again, volume is if we were going to take something and fill it up. Okay, there's something in there. Not just paint the outside like the surface area. We're going to fill it up. Okay. So very simple formula to do this. Okay. The formula is to find I'm gonna just write it a little bigger. The volume is equal to the area of the base times the height of the prism. Okay. So capital B stands for area of the base. So you can circle that or highlight it, but this means area of whatever shape the base is. Area of the base, whether it's a square or a rectangle, even a triangle or a circle, whatever shape the base is, you find the area of the base and you multiply it by the height. And that's it. So we're filling it up. Okay, so the base of this is, we're going to call it that down here at the bottom. Okay, so first of all, find the area of the base. So in this case, our base is a rectangle. So it's length times width, right? So we go 6 times 8. So the area of the base is, put those computers away. So then to get the total volume, I take the area of the base times the height of the prism, which is 15. Now, remember that area is a square measure, but then when we do the volume, it is going to be a cubic measure. So 48 times 15, that gives us 720. So this is 720, and that would be a cubic yards because it's 3 dimensions. So that's why there's a 3. It's length, width, and height. So it's a cubic measure. We're filling it. It's a volume, so it is a cubic measure, cubic yards. Are there any questions on that? Anyone? All right. Not too bad, is it? Did everybody finish? Can I move on? Okay. Now on the next one, what is the shape of the base down here?
Square.
The square. So how do you find the area of a square? You take the side squared. Okay. So we need to find the area of the base, which is going to be 4 squared. So the area of that base is 16. Turn around. Why are you always blaming him for stuff? 16 square feet. So then the volume of this is the area of the base times the height of this prism, which is is also 4. So that's going to be 64 feet cubed. Dude, you're making me nervous. Quit. Jacob, quit. Whatever you're doing, quit. Okay. Now, I want you to do number 2. So on number 2, do you see how they give you this perpendicular right there? So this would be like the length, and that would be the width. Okay. So whenever you're going to find the area of this shape, use the 5 and the 8.5 to find the area of the parallelogram at the bottom. So since this is a parallelogram, the area is the base times the height. So that's how you find the area of the parallelogram. Y'all done? All right, so the area of the base of this parallelogram is 8.5 times 5. So that is 42.5. That would be square centimeters. And so then the volume will be the area of the base, which is 42.5, times the height of the prism, which is 6. All right. So we're going to go over here and we're going to go 42.5 times 6. And that is 255. And what would be my units? Cubed is correct. Because volume is this three-dimensional thing. Okay? Easy as pie, right?
Easy.
I meant this one. Okay. Now, let's talk about a triangular prism. Okay? So a triangular prism is the same. So we have to find the area. We use the exact same formula for volume, the area of the base times the height of the prism. So the height of the prism is the distance between the two triangles in this case. Okay, so how do you find the area of a triangle? You take 1/2 the base times the height. So in this case, what is the base? What's that full length across the triangle? 5.5. Then what's the height of this little triangle? So if you put that in your calculator, you're going to get the area of that triangle. It's 5.5 square inches. So then what's the volume of this? If we were to fill that with some type of liquid or whatever. Correct. Why would I multiply by 4? Yep, you're right. Say. Yep. The height between those two faces. The height of the prism. Right, we have two triangles, so the distance between the two triangles is 4. So that is going to be 22. Is that 22, Daniel? Yes. Thanks, Daniel. And that would be inches cubed. Okay? Any questions? All right. Let's I'll do number 4 and then you can go back and do number 3. All right? This one has a fraction in it, so I'll do this one. So the area of the base for a triangle, it's 1/2. The length of the base, which is 2, and then the height of that base, where that perpendicular is 3/4. So in my handy dandy calculator, I'm going to use 0.5 times 2 times 0.75. Okay? And so that gives you 0.75. Did you get 0.75 when you did that? You did? Good job. So then the volume is the area of the base that we just calculated times the height of the prism, which is that full 3 meters. So we're going to take 0.75 times 3. And that's going to be 2.25 cubic meters. Can you do number 3 real quick? All right, so on number 3, we need to find the area of the base, which is that triangle again. So it's 1/2, and then here they give you clearly the base and the height of the triangle, 12 times 5, which when you do that, you should get 30 meters squared. And then the volume is going to be the area of the base times the height of the prism, which is 9. So the volume is, did you get 270
Yes.
meters cubed? Come in. All right. Good job. Who got 270 when you did that? Anyone? Good job. All right. Where you want me to scroll back up?
If that's okay, please. We do the modeling for
No.
I wanted to
What?
do-
Because it's going to make you hungry? Is that what?
No.
Okay. Each bag of popcorn holds exactly 96 cubic inches of popcorn. Which bag should a movie theater choose in order to use less paper when making popcorn bags? Okay, so this problem actually has to do with surface area. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to look at bag A. So bag A, and remember our volume formula is the area of the base times the height. So we know the volume. The volume is 96, but what we don't know is the height of each of these bags. Now we can find the area of the base because we know the base. So for bag A, the area of the base is 3 times 4, which is 12. So that's 12 square inches. So then to find the volume, we'll say, the volume, which is 96, is equal to the area of the base times the height, which is what we don't know for this. So we need to divide right there, right? So we're going to divide by 12. Divide by 12 on both sides. Right, so that's going to be 8. So the height of the first one is 8. So now that we know that, we can find the surface area. So remember that the surface area is 2 times the length times the width plus 2 times the length times the height plus 2 times the width times the height. But in this case, because there's no top to these bags, we don't have to do that too. So for bag number 1, the surface area is going to be, right, because now we have our length, we have our width, and our height is 8. So we're going to go 2 times the length times the width plus 2 times the length times the height plus 2 times the width times the height. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, we're not gonna do that too. We're not gonna do that too. Good job. Okay, so that's gonna be 3 times 4 plus 2 times 3 times 8 plus 2 times 4 times 8. So that gives us 124 square inches of paper that would be used for that one. Okay? Okay, so now we have to go and look at bag B. So we're going to analyze and get, we don't know its height. So that's what we got to figure out here for bag B. All right, so the area of its base, it has a square base. So it's going to be 4 squared, which is 16. So it has the area of its base is 16 square inches. So again, going back to the volume is equal to the area of the base times the height, which is what we don't know. So then we'll divide by 16. What is 96 divided by 16? That is 6. So the height for bag B is 6. So that's 6. All right, so if we do this again, here's our length, here's our width, and same thing right here when we find the total surface area. We're going to do the length times the width plus 2 times the length times the height plus 2 times the width times the height, like that. All right, so that's going to be 4 times 4 plus 2 times 4 times 6 plus 2 times 4 times 6 again. And so that is 112 square inches. Now their overall question is, which bag should the movie theater use in order to use less paper when making popcorn bags? So which is it, bag B or bag A? Bag B. They should use bag B. Okay. Why would they want to use less paper in the first place? It's not just about the trees, since this paper is actually used from trees that get replanted every time it gets used. So they always replant them. Paper companies replant trees. They're not down in the Amazon cutting down trees so we can make bags of popcorn.
Illegally,
They want to use. They want to save money. Warren said it, because if you use less paper, then you're going to save money in the long run. Yes. Okay, we need to switch to the other paper. Okay, so we're looking at 7.4, the volumes of cylinders. Look at this formula. Does that formula look familiar? We already know how to do that, except this time, what shape is our base? What shape is the base?
Circle.
Circle. So how do you find the area of a circle? pi r squared. That's right. Good job, guys. All right, so find the volume of the cylinder. Round your answer to the nearest tenth. Okay, so I'm going to use the capital B again. What does capital B stand for? Area of the base. So it's pi times the radius squared. All right, so what we have to do here is we have to go pi times 3 squared. And so you should get 28.3. So that's going to be 28.3. And that's going to be, yes, we're going to round to, see right there, round to the nearest 10th. That's 28.3 meters squared. So then the volume is the area of the base times the height of the cylinder, which is 6. So I'm going to take 28.3 times 6, which is 169.8. 169.8 cubic meters. Okay? All right. On the try it, find the volume of a cylinder with a radius of 4 and a height of 15. So it helps you to write those things out. If it helps you, the radius is 4 feet. And then the height is that 15 feet. You can even draw your own picture if you really wanted to. So what is the area of that? What shape is the base? So what the radius of the circle is 4. So to get our area, you take pi times 4 squared. So we're going to go pi times 4 squared. And that's going to give us 50.3. 50.3 square feet. And then how do we find the volume? You take that area of the base times the height of the base, which is 15. All right, so 50.3 times 15. And we got the volume is 754.5 feet cubed. Okay, it's pretty straightforward, right? Do you have any questions about that? All right, so on example 2, they're kind of working what we just did a moment ago, but with the prism, they give us the volume and they give us basically the radius here, but we have to use that to find the height. So just remember that the radius is equal to half of the diameter. Okay, remember that. Now, so what is the radius for this particular problem? Well, the diameter is 10, so what's the radius?
5.
Correct. How did you get 5? 10 divided by 2 is 5. Okay, so remember our formula. I'm just rewriting it so you can see it. The area of the base times the height of the prism. So we know the V, right? We know the volume. We can figure out the area of the base and then use that to find the height. So what is the area of the base? So the area of the base, good morning.
We're done state test.
Yay.
So the very last thing we have to do is that test administrator security form. So that'll walk you through how to do it.
All right, so we have to take pi times the radius squared, right? Pi r squared. All right, so we're going to go over here and go pi times 5 squared. And so that's going to give us the area of that circle is 78.5. And that's going to be square inches for that. Now, our volume is 314. So that will equal the area of the base, which is 78.5. What did I just do? Times the height, so which is we don't know. So we'll divide by the 78.5. Divide by the 78.5. So let's come over here and we'll go 314 divided by 78.5. And lo and behold, that gives you exactly 4. So the height of that shape is 4 inches. That's what we're looking for, 4 inches. Okay? Can you do number 2? Why don't you do number 2 real quick? Okay, so on this one, same exact thing that we did. The diameter is 8. So what's the radius? That's right, it's 4. So the area of the base is going to be don't start walking around. Don't start walking around. So that's going to be pi times 4 squared. Shh. So 4 times, pi times, shh. That's going to be 50.3. And that would be square centimeters. So then the volume is 176. So that equals the area times the height. So that means we're going to divide by the 50.3. Anybody, what'd you get when you did that? So 176 divided by 50.3.
3.5.
So the height then of that shape is 3.5. 3.5 what? Just centimeters. All right. Good job. Okay, so let's go to this next section, which is finding the radius. So that time they gave us the volume and they gave us a radius. Now they give us the height and we have to work backwards to find the radius. So it's a little trickier, but we can do it. Okay, so let's just remember our formulas. The volume is equal to the area of the base times the height. Our base is a circle, so it's pi r squared, like that. So find the radius this time. Okay, so we're not going to know fully the area of the base, but we do know the volume and we do know the height. So we're going to plug those into our formula. 226 is equal to, and we're just going to leave this. Okay, we'll come back to that in a minute. And our height is 8, like that. Okay, so we're going to divide by 8. Right, so 226 divided by 8, that gives us 28.25 is the area of our base. So now we're going to use this formula right here. And we're going to say what we're going to do to say, since that is the area of the base, we're going to plug it in here and say 28.25 is equal to pi times the radius squared. Now we're trying to figure out the radius, so we need to get the r all alone. So we're going to divide by pi right here like this. Okay? So we're going to come over here and we're going to go 28.25 divided by pi. That's going to give us 8.99, which is going to round up to 9. So 9 is equal to the radius squared. Now, that's the radius squared. I want just the radius by itself. So to take the square root of 9, which is 3 feet. So the radius is 3 feet. Okay. So why don't you try number 3 and number 4, and then we'll see how you did. All right, so on number 3, again, using our volume formula, right? The volume is the area of the base times the height. So we're going to go 28 is equal to, we don't know the area of the base, but we know the height is 4. So we're going to divide by 4. So that's going to be 7. So 7 equals the area of the base. Okay? So, and again, right, we're using this formula, pi r squared. Okay, so the area of the base is 7. So 7 is equal to pi r squared. So we're going to divide by pi because we need to get r all alone. So 7 divided by pi gives me, and we're going to round that to 2.2 is equal to the radius squared. Okay, so I want just the radius, not the radius squared. So I have to take the square root of the 2.2. Right, so we're going to come over here and we're going to go square root of 2.2. And that is about, we're going to round that to the nearest tenth. So that is 1.5 meters. So the radius of that circle is 1.5 meters. Okay, so now we are going to look at number 4. So same kind of procedure. It's going to be the volume, which is 564, is equal to the area of the base times the height, which is 4.25. All right, so we're going to divide by the 4.25. Divide by 4.25. So we'll go 564 divided by 4.25. 564 divided by 4.25. So that gives us 132.7. 132.7. And so that's the area of my base. So we're using pi r squared. So the area of the base is equal to pi times the radius squared. So we're going to divide by pi. So that's going to give me 132.7 divided by pi. Right? So that gives me 42.2 is the radius squared. Now I want, separate this out, I want just the radius, not the radius squared. So I have to take the square root of 42.2 All right, so the square root of 42.2, and that's going to give us 6.5 millimeters. Right. Okay, let's look at example 4. Okay, you use the cylindrical barrel to collect and steady rainwater. The height of the barrel is 2.3 feet. The diameter of the base is 1.8 feet. All right, so if we draw ourselves a little barrel like this, that right there. So the height of this is 2.3. They tell us that the diameter, right, goes all the way across right there, is 1.8. So that is 1.8 feet, right? Each of these are feet. So first of all, we need to find the volume, and then we'll change that to gallons, okay? So we need to find the volume first. All right, so the diameter is 1.8. So that means my radius is half that, which is 0.9. So what we're going to do is find the area of that circle at the bottom, which is pi times the radius squared. Okay, so I'll come over here and I'll go pi times the radius squared, like that. And so that's going to give us an area of 2.5. And that would be square feet. All right. Then to get my volume, I take the area of the base times the height of the whole cylinder, which is 2.3. All right. And so that's going to give me let's see, 2.5 times 2.3, which is 5.75. So that's 5.75, and that is cubic feet right there. All right, now for each foot can hold 7.5 gallons. So what we're going to do is take 5.75 times the 7.5 gallons. All right, that's going to give us the total number of gallons. So 5.75 times 7.5, and that's going to give us 43 gallons. Okay, great job.